locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Breaking here at the news desk. When you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, you can lock in your price for 2 years. Sources are confirming that when you stack Allo Internet, DirecTV, and mobile, your monthly price drops and you're locked in for 2 years. That's fiber fast internet, premium streaming TV, and reliable nationwide mobile coverage. And this just in, you must switch by Labor Day to secure that locked-in pricing for 2 years. Switch, stack, and save at allofiber.com/stack.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. 93.7 The Ticket. Fox, KFXL Weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: showers and storms possible throughout the day. Otherwise, we'll see mainly cloudy skies with a high around 85. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms, over that low around 60. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers. Otherwise, mainly cloudy and cool with a high near 78. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fleck for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
When you're outdoors beneath Nebraska skies, adventure comes in all sizes. From quick escapes and long weekends to true off-the-grid retreats. Paddle, hike, camp, explore. Whether you have a few hours or a few days, we'll guide you to a state park or recreation area that's a perfect fit. Start your next adventure today at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer, Jay Foreman. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
That it is. Welcome to it on a Wednesday, hump day here at 93.7 Ticket, and for you as well. You're in the middle of your work week. We are right there with you. Austin and Strick with you for the next couple of hours. Jay Foreman out today. DP will join me for Old School. But until then, it is On the Block, brought to you, as you heard, from Big Voice Bob, the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA vet, East Tracy. What's good, my guy?
What it do?
How we doing?
I missed you guys yesterday, but I know you guys held down the fort and got busy, and took care of things. But it's good to be back in the house. There's definitely some wonderful topics to touch on today and discuss. Comments coming out of the basketball program. Mm-hmm. It looks like D-Walk was back in the house, so I got a chance to, get his eyes on what was going on down there as well. So, yeah, interesting stuff.
Lots to get into today. Like Strick just said, we'll talk some Nebraska men's basketball at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. We'll wrap up the MLB draft with some thoughts from Evan Bland and how the MLB draft affected the 2026 Husker baseball outfit coming up at 4:30. But until then, we will dive into the NFL, maybe some MLB All-Star game, maybe some NBA news with Bradley Beal set to sign a 2-year, $11 million deal with a player option with the Clippers. But, Stricky, let's jump off into the NFL, something that you sent my way. Part of a kind of a sea change for the NFL when it comes to contracts, really for non-first rounders. We know about the second rounders that haven't been signed, and maybe we can get into that in a little bit. But first and foremost, there are rumblings out there that Shedeur Sanders is taking a unique, innovative approach to signing his rookie contract. What are you hearing about what Shedeur Sanders is doing with his contract?
Well, before we really get on that, just take into account that how unusually high the number is for second rounders to have not signed.
30 out of 32 right
30
now.
out of 32. That's something that's very unusual. And so,
and now that's not Shedeur Sanders. He's a fifth rounder, but the point stands.
So for me, when I look at different things like with what Ohtani has done, you look at, you kind of reflect back and you look at some of the creativities. You look at what even like Caleb Williams was trying to do. It's very similar to what Tory Lanez was doing. And if you put your tinfoil hats on, this some people would speculate and say this is what got me. I know some of you that are listening doesn't know. You're like, who the heck is Tory Lanez? But Tory Lanez, what he had did, which was so creative in the music business, he created ETFs, which would allow his fan base to work with him and them hand in hand on the success of the projects that he builds out in music. And it literally takes the shadiness of the music business and these crazy contracts as to why you have like your TLCs who, you know, could go quadruple and 8 times platinum, but they're wondering why they're broke. Tony Braxton, you're hearing, you're like, how? You know, you're
see multi-millionaire,
right?
Super successful, and you ain't got none?
How? But it's because, you know, if you're making 10, 20 cents on the dollar on your project because of the contract that was signed, it's something that it hinders you. So like Tory Lanez, their creativeness and the wisdom of what Primetime was, because he wasn't able to fully monetize the name of Prime until later. As a coach,
after the fact.
As a son, watching, observing, partaking, benefiting off of that, then you come to understand. Some that did take advantage of it with an understanding and the know that this is my way because they're not going to pay me for what I do. Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman basically says, I'm going to create this image that is going to get me more paid outside than inside. Right?
Sure.
There you go on that. So now we get to football. Where we are today, a lot of football players have been hindered by way of shining in the light. The only reason that you know guys like Marshawn Lynch, for example, is his takes with his helmet off.
Well, you know him because of Beast Mode. He made that his persona. He made that his image.
Right? You created this thing, but when you think about him, you remember, I'm only here because I don't want to get
fined.
Right?
Or the jumping into the end zone.
There's things that they create, right?
And the cart, the golf cart or the medical cart.
Right?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Off.
Mm-hmm.
So what he's saying is we're creating prime equity, and there's some benefit financially by the numbers, which we can get into how that particularly works. So that he's basically doing what Tory Lanez has done, what Dennis Rodman has done. He's basically monetizing the image and the benefits that you're going to get by having prime equity in this building, whether it be shirt sales, all this different stuff, which would normally go through licensing.
Who takes a cut?
Right? It's a way of cutting out the middleman in a sense. That's what it looks like to me as I looked over it. So I tried to give it to you in a way without just trying to drop a whole bunch of, so you can visualize what it is that he's trying to do by creating prime equity.
First things first, Cubsker chimes in and says, Tory is a goat of freestyles. Who are your freestyle goats?
I like Kendrick.
Okay.
I think Mac Miller was really, really good at freestyle. Believe it or not, freestyle, Will Smith is actually pretty good. Now, I'm not going to call him a GOAT, but I think he's actually pretty good. LL is pretty good.
You met him, LL?
I have not met LL.
I
hadn't got a chance to meet him. So there's so many more that are underground that are super crazy. They're underground though. They're not mainstream.
Yeah.
So some of that on the mainstream is what I can say. You know, some people would say Jay-Z, but you know,
has Jay-Z gone too corporate?
Yeah, I think that's where his mainstay is. But they you know, there were people that would say he would go into the booth and just hear the music, and you know, it would just come to him without writing it down. You know, so those are some unusual traits. But yeah, there's definitely some underground cats. There's those battle guys that are real good. So yeah.
Back above ground with Shedeur Sanders, it feels like he's the right guy to make this move, right? To try to get this worked into a contract, if that's what he's pushing for, just because of the name recognition, right? You would think maybe back in the day it would have been Deion Sanders, his dad, right, with primetime. But I think dad is the guy that's laying the foundation for the son, right? So some of this feels like we're just kind of catching up to what should have happened maybe, 20, 30 years ago for Deion Sanders. And I don't want to blame Shedeur for trying to profit off. That's just right? It's his prerogative. But at the same time, dude, you're a 5th-round draft pick. Now, you're the most popular, most well-known draft pick. I think he has #1 jersey sales by rookies ahead of his teammate, Travis Hunter, who I would argue is probably better at his position or positions in the NFL relative to level than Shedeur Sanders is. But I'm not going to knock Shedeur Sanders for trying to take advantage of this. I just wonder if it's going to work. Is Shedeur Sanders worth the hassle for the Browns to try to write this into the contract to keep him happy? Or if he wants to keep pushing for this, do the Browns have grounds to say, we get where you're coming from. We don't want to agree to that. We want our cut. We think in, 5-10 years, essentially, our brand will still be bigger than yours. So we want a cut of whatever it is you're going to be making. We know you'll move jerseys for us. That's why we want to get you signed. But I can just see a world in which the Browns say it's not worth it. We're not going to sign you. Test the NFL draft again next year. Go be a free agent, whatever it is. Because, yeah, Shedeur's good, fine, worthy of a draft pick, absolutely. But I can also see the Browns not wanting to have to deal with that situation. Just say, you want your money, go find someone else to give it to you.
Well, then, see, that's the thing. So here's the dilemma of that, right? In essence, both teams are betting on self. Here's why I say that. Not just thrown out there haphazardly. Literally, all it really is a bet on self.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because really, if nothing transpires out of it, you don't have to pay him.
Right.
Right. It's also a negotiating tool that there can be some form of share without the middleman.
Give or take.
That's that to me, it's really just cutting out others that's biting at the apple.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a way to work that. But as I said, both teams betting on self. If you're the Browns, you're already in a quagmire dilemma.
Big time.
With what you did with Deshaun Watson and
just
Baker
being
Mayfield.
bad generally.
Bad. You now have an elderly statesman as your lead charge, somebody that got whisked and kicked out of the black and gold. And then you've got a guy that's a shorty doo-wop who, is bounced around, won, but you're not really sure. You're not sure if he's going to be Tua Tagovailoa or a left-handed version of what's my guy for the Saints? Short.
Drew Brees.
You don't know if he's going to be a left-handed Drew Brees, right? Or if he's going to be a left-handed flopper doodle. Right? You don't know. But there's signs and there's sayings that Shedeur is outperforming a lot of those guys now. So if you run him out the door, you kick him out the door, and all else fails, whoa, and he goes on, that's basically you.
Even if he's just a solid starter, he's a decent average middle of the road starter.
You're basically you're playing Russian roulette on that bet.
Yeah.
And then if he then succeeds, now you look like the greatest, organization and management group by the way that you drafted him 5th, and he turns out to be what he is. So those are the risks. That's the benefit. On the same hand, the risk for him is, like you just said, getting kicked out the door, having to go and find it and make it wherever he makes it. Or also the risk for him is he doesn't perform and the shirts don't perform and he's a flopper doodle himself. So there's risk rewards on both sides. It's just a matter of who's going to win out.
Strick, I want to just go through the list of number 1 picks since 2000, just as an example, right? I know Shedeur wasn't a number 1 overall pick, right? But when you look at the previous 5 number 1 overall picks, Cam Ward, Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, Trayvon Walker, and Trevor Lawrence, I don't think any of those guys had as big a platform, as big a brand as Shedeur Sanders does now. So I don't think they would have been the right ones to implement this sort of system right into their contract, try to cut out the middleman. The first guy that I can see, and again, I know he's not a number 1 overall pick. It's not a perfect comparison. But in terms of the brand, the name recognition, the flash, the style, the substance, and really I think just the capitalizing on the moment, I really think Joe Burrow would have been the most recent number 1 pick who maybe could have tried something like this. And you could see a credible argument for it. Baker, no. Myles Garrett, no. Jared Goff, no. Jameis Winston, no. Jadeveon Clowney, no. Eric Fisher, no. Andrew Luck wouldn't have. Maybe with the way he was talked about, next Manning, generational quarterback type, but Andrew Luck would have never done that. Then I go to Cam Newton. I think Cam maybe could have back in the day, Super Cam, everything he was doing at Auburn. But then Sam Bradford, no. Matt Stafford, no. Jake Long, no. DeMarcus Russell, no. Mario Williams, Alex Smith, Eli Manning, Carson Palmer, David Carr, no. Maybe Michael Vick in 01. Maybe.
We're looking at decades of time that have passed when a new one kind of emerges. Is that what you're seeing? Is
I'm at 2001, maybe 2011,
and there's maybe 3 guys.
2020.
Within that time frame.
Right. Now, Shedeur Sanders has leveraged social media the most of any of those guys.
Didn't really have it until late 2000, so a lot of those guys couldn't benefit from that.
Right. But he's still, he still has it, right? I can't knock the other guys, for not having it or not using it when they didn't.
And he's performed in one.
And he has, for the most part, right? And that's why I think it's more of a credit to him that he's attempting to leverage the moment, right? The zeitgeist, his name being in there. Good for him, more power to him when it comes to the off-the-field stuff, right? When it comes to on the field, I would take all 3 of those guys before I would take Shedeur.
Yeah.
But I can't fault Shedeur for trying to get there. But that's where if I'm the Browns, again, that's where I say I see what you're going for. I'm not mad at you for it, but you're not going to cut us out of the picture, right? We're the ones that stopped your slide. We're the ones that believed in you. We're the ones that took you. You're not going to cut us out. Sure, we'll give you maybe a little bit more because we understand what you're doing, the moment, the style, and we're Cleveland, right? We can't afford to lose this publicity battle at the very least. But man, it's just hard for me to believe that Shedeur Sanders is the right player on the football field to try to make this gamble, if that makes sense.
I mean,
because how long are his jersey sales really going to be this high? Does he still have more jersey sales than Travis Hunter in 3 years?
Well, go look at what, like, it just depends, right? Because you got to look at what LeBron's has been. You got to look at what
Shedeur ain't that.
You've got to look at what Steph has been. But we don't know, right? And that's what I'm saying. The bet is still on him.
Himself. Yeah,
it's still on himself because if you're Cleveland, even if you decided to do that, you could still put some forms of clause in there. You can put KPIs. You can put benchmarks. You can put things in there to say, okay, I see you. I raise you similar to you. This is all poker. Me against you, for the poker championship or whatever. But they're playing poker. And if you think about it, you can say he's going for the max. And they can then counter and say, okay, I'll throw a benchmark on it. If you hit, and if I'm throwing a benchmark, I'm throwing a crazy number.
Oh, yeah.
And then let you come back and say, okay, no, if I hit and then we can
then we'll hit my real number.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then, I already know you bit on Deshaun Watkins, so I'm throwing a crazy number out there. I'm saying, 500,000.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm throwing something crazy low. Because I know I'm already thinking you're stupid.
Right.
So I'm like, you gonna bite on this? Okay. Yeah. So I think they can go tit for tat, back and forth to get to a place to where if he hits a certain benchmark, that percentage number, boop,
goes up.
Mm-hmm. If he doesn't, then then there's some subtraction. If this is
to make up the difference.
Mm-hmm. There's something that can be worked where it's beneficial to them for him not making it. You know what I'm saying? And you have to be willing to open books concerning that, because I can't trust that, because we know teams
would the NFL really collude against a quarterback? Would they do that? Say it ain't so.
You've seen that. And then on top of that, we've heard the stories either through Jay or just heard it around the block where guys who've had bonuses, their time on field maybe got shrunk for that game, or so we know that they do that. So there's gotta be something where there's some understanding on me being able to see exactly what's going on without you cooking books.
If you're the Browns and you want to put these KPIs in there, what would those be for you in order to split that revenue?
See, I don't know. I haven't had a chance to really look.
But I guess, would it be on the field stuff or like off the field jersey sales? Because that's what we're talking about, is the merchandising and the branding.
I think initially it's got to be limited to on the field.
Really?
Right?
Okay.
Especially early on, because we know how NFL teams, and this is how I would throw it back at them. You guys really aren't looking for, because you can keep me off the field, but there's going to come a time where you may not be able to keep me off the field.
Mm-hmm.
So first 2 years, it's only off the field, or first year of the contract. Second half of the contract, if I'm not able to step up and get on the field after the second year, then this is voided, or it's cut in half, or something of that nature, right? To where then you don't feel like, I'm just losing out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there's a way for it. But if I'm not able to get on the field, I can also look at a trade. So that way, it's not you keeping me off the field. Now you're taking money out of my pocket because you don't want me to get on the field after the 2 years. But as a part of that, see, I know you want me, if I'm performing, I know you want me to play. But you're also looking at the business part of it. So the trade then has to be a part of the issue, because now you got to say, "Ooh, wait now, we don't want to be stupid and hasty here. We really like him." You know what I'm saying? So, because guys will play that game, and we know that's true because of what they just tried to do with your boy Ace Bailey.
Yeah.
What Angels do? I mean, they throw stuff out there. We know that they throw stuff out there about injuries to try. We just heard about that, where they threw some stuff out there about an injury, got caught. What's his name over for the Lakers? They did it with your boy. Was it KCP or no? It was somebody else. He went and signed somewhere else, got more money, but they tried to. Was it KCP? Orlando?
No, that was a couple of years ago now.
It must have been last year.
Was it a Talon Horton Tucker?
Maybe it was him. But they basically tried to say he had a knee injury.
Yeah.
And they threw it out there to try to get people not to sign him so they can sign him less. It got found out, and he ends up going somewhere else and signing for like 20 million more or something. So yeah, we know they do these type of games.
When I think through the KPIs, key performance indicators, if I'm Shedeur Sanders for the first 2 years, I would want them to be off the field.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, if I'm not playing, but I'm still selling jerseys, I get my cut.
Yeah.
But if I'm the Browns, I want them in my control, right? If you're not on the field, we won't give this to you. My worry for the Browns, and I don't know enough about Shedeur Sanders as a young man to know, would he become more focused on hitting those jersey incentives, achieving that part of the deal rather than getting on the field? I would hope not, because you've talked about it. Jay's talked about it. The way you boost your jersey sales is to be good on the field by keeping the main thing, by focusing on the craft, not by trying to hawk jerseys on the corner just so you get an extra, 1% or 2% that the licensing company didn't get. And I think if the Browns were to make the concession to allow it to be the off the field sort of deal, right? I feel like that would be them setting him up to fail, right? Where they tell him going in, we're not going to play you. You're not ready. We don't think you got it. We'll put you're our emergency guy. And if they tell him straight up, these are off the field KPIs that you have to hit, I feel like they'd be setting him up for failure instead of trying to help him develop as a quarterback.
I think you have a plausible pushback, but here's the thing that I would say. I would feel a little bit different about that situation had I not kind of kept my eyes on what's going on there, the OTA work, the time he's put in, the extra time he's put in, how he's performing when opportunity is gifted and given unto him. That means he actually wants it. Like you've heard the stories of him and Cam Ward going back and forth and talking about I'm football, I'm this and that. This is part of the reason why Cam went the way he went, because the perception to some becomes reality to most if in their mind's eye they feel as though you're thinking more about other stuff as opposed to this. But then his performances show,
hey, maybe he's actually pretty focused.
He's one of the right. I mean, and then the next step is people start saying, well, no, he's got all this talent and all this. Okay. There's a lot of people that have talent, but you still got to perform.
Right.
You still got to get it to him. You still got to make the right plays. I still say he did it with terrible line. I mean, there's a lot of people, Joe Burrow and guys like that could tell you, what it looks like without having a line.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And still to have the high percentages that he has. So for me, I would probably look more, but for right now, I can't say it because I'm seeing something different. I'm seeing there's a chip. I'm seeing that he's trying to show you based on what I've observed and what I'm hearing. So I'm not there yet, but I'm not saying that what you're saying is not correct.
Yeah, no, I get you. Let's take our first break of the show. We'll stick in the NFL, maybe put a bow on this conversation. Then top 10 wide receivers from coaches, scouts, and executives. A somewhat surprising number one, at least to me. We'll see if Strick agrees. That's coming up next during On the Block.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Family, you bet they are. This is Joe Cordell of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. Kids living in a household with married parents do better in school, they're emotionally healthier, and they're more likely to stay out of trouble with the law. If you're in a troubled marriage, of course you should do everything you can to save your marriage, if only for your kids' sake. This includes considering alternatives to divorce. Of course, in some circumstances, divorce is unavoidable. In either case, if you're a man facing a crisis in your marriage, let us help you at Cordell & Cordell. Remember, we're the partner men can count on.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln, Cordell & Cordell, 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska, 68508.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more. Schwizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schwizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schwizo.com. That's schwisow.com.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Make bill paying a breeze with Text to Pay. LES texts you 1 week before your bill's due date. Just reply to the text to pay. It's that easy. Log into your account at les.com to sign up today.
MHC isn't new, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartments, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can also handle your commercial moves as well. There's never fees on trucks, stairs, elevators, long carry, and last-minute booking, and no trip or fuel charges. Also no upcharge on weekends, and they do offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Hey, I don't want to hate on Joe Burrow. He's clearly in this tier. I think he's the bottom of this tier. I would go Allen Jackson and then Burrow.
You should be a politician. You just convinced.
You know what I'm saying? You see what he did?
Yeah, he didn't have
He do it all the time. It's tricky, man.
Keep going, Jay.
No,
You're speaking my language.
stop.
You're speaking my language. Come on.
You didn't let him get you, Jay. I can't believe you let him get you again. God, dang.
Every weekday from 3 to 5 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Rolling right along during On the Block, Austin and Strick with you here for another couple hours. 402-464-5685 if you want to chime in on our conversation for best wide receivers in the NFL. Stricky, if I asked you, who right now is the number one receiver in the NFL? Who are you taking?
Number one receiver right now. I'm going to say Jefferson.
Saying Jettis? Jay Jettis?
Yeah.
Okay. I would too. The people that ESPN polled disagree. They're taking his former LSU teammate, Jamar Chase, over Justin Jefferson. Why would you take Jefferson over Chase?
I think length, catch radius. He's kind of right now on a solo mission. He don't really have, to be honest, Chase has Higgins on the other side, which you have to account for.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he has an equal on the other side, and I still think he's able to put up the numbers that he puts up, which that's where I would give, a little bit deference.
Fair enough. ESPN's write-up says that Jefferson is probably the better route runner and probably the better hands, but that Jamar Chase is the guy that they take first in the pick in the first pick in the pickup game. Athlete. They say Chase is better athletically, and they think there's maybe some more ceiling with Jamar Chase, who probably grades out as a better athlete, a little faster, a little bit more explosive. But some NFL teams are saying Chase is a good route runner, but maybe not the elite route runner that Justin Jefferson is right now. I just wonder if Jamar Chase can ever get to that. If he ever puts it all together, or if he's always going to be, 90% of his potential because he's a good enough route runner, but he just gets away with being a little bit more explosive, a little bit more athletic.
My mind is drawing a quick blank, but I know you, as the resident encyclopedia, will pick up what I'm putting down. Jamar right now reminds me of what's my guy that was with the Cowboys, then he got traded to the Raiders.
Amari Cooper.
He reminds me of Amari Cooper. So Amari, to me, not crazy in routes, can get over the top of you, run solid routes, but he just seems to get it done. That's the way I view Jamar Chase right now. Just gets it done. He doesn't come across to me like Des Bryant used to, or
not the same size guy, but yeah, I get you.
You know what I'm saying? Like guys that house stuff from that, that position. Good body, good size. That's why I say Amari Cooper, because I think he's built very similar to Amari Cooper. I think, they have pretty similar. Doesn't seem like they have like this breakneck speed, but they actually can get there on you.
Get after it.
And so that's why I would say that. Now, to me, when I think about about Jefferson, it moves me back to old Minnesota Vikings with Randy, but he's not Randy.
No, different dude.
Right? But I think he has catch radius like Randy. I don't think he can get over the top like Randy. Like Randy, if even before he's closed the gap on you, he knows he's Bayou Classic. The minute he's like me to you, and he's like,
I'm open.
And then he's Bayou. Like, I don't think Jamar's got that. I mean, Justin's got that. But I think Justin runs really good routes. I think he's got a great catch radius. I think he's pretty smart, and he can get over the top of you.
Whose game do you think ages better, Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson?
I think Justin's probably going to be more injury prone.
Okay.
So I would say probably Jamar.
Interesting. And see, I think that if both guys stay healthy, I would take Justin Jefferson to be productive for a longer amount of time, right?
Yeah.
Because I think that he's more in the Jerry Rice mold in terms of technician, where I think the guy that maybe put it all together before Jamar Chase did, Strick, and they're not the same guys, but I think Tyreek Hill's an underrated route runner who's known for his explosion, his athleticism, obviously one of one in terms of the track speed that he has, but we don't understand just how good Tyreek Hill has been at winning jump balls. They contested catches, despite not being that big for an outside type of receiver. So not that I want Jamar Chase and Tyreek Hill hanging out in all respects, but I do think that Jamar Chase can get to that Tyreek Hill level of aging where even if Tyreek Hill loses a step, he's still, 90th percentile speed instead of 99. Tyreek Hill, as long as his head is screwed on straight, will still be effective, I think, longer than Jamar Chase right now because he's a better route runner than given credit for. And I think that that's a guy with maybe similar athletic gifts to Jamar Chase, faster, but maybe Chase can jump a little bit higher. I would like Jamar Chase to go to the Tyreek Hill school of route running as an athlete first wide receiver instead of the technician first wide receiver.
I can't disagree with anything you're saying. I think the disagreement that I would have with the ESPN article is what's next. I think there's a Uno reverse card that should be in there somehow.
Speaking of Tyreek Hill, he's at number 3.
Yeah.
Top receiver.
Don't have a problem with that.
Okay. CD Lamb at number 4.
Right.
Is that your issue? Why is your issue, sir?
Because I think I actually think AJ Brown's better and has more upside.
Fair. Okay.
Just my thought.
I'm not mad at it. AJ Brown does come in at number 5, according to ESPN. Then we get into a bit of a cluster here, Strick. Number 6, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Not mad at it. Not sure I love it. There's just so many good receivers. It's hard to separate the good from the great from maybe the truly elite type of receivers. I guess for me, I leave CeeDee Lamb out of that truly elite conversation. I think it's pretty clear. It's Chase Jefferson. I think Hill is in a tier. I'm okay with putting CeeDee Lamb and A.J. Brown in the same tier. Different types of players.
Yeah.
Lamb, again, I think is more that Justin Jefferson technician, route runner, fast enough to get it done. But I think Brown's the physical specimen, right? In a true wide receiver one type of body. And then I think we're getting down to another tier here.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, good. It still feels slightly unproven. Maybe that's unfair to him and to the Lions. Like him, not 100% sure I'm sold on him. The one that's really interesting to me, though, Strick, a guy that in his first year eligible for this conversation, Malik Neighbors of the New York Giants, right? 100 catches, 1,200 yards as a rookie last year, being thrown to by 4 different quarterbacks in a bottom quarter of the league offense. I'm really curious to see if Malik Neighbors can ascend and maybe pass maybe not in body of work, but in terms of, pure receiver total package, if he can climb up into that A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb tier, or if he's always going to be a good stats, bad team guy.
I mean, listen, outside of what Brock Bowers had did with 112 catches, he's next in line. I think that's being also the beneficiary of being the Giants not being able to get it right in some of their drafts, and then they're moving on from guys and guys not actually stepping in. So he was able to fill a void and put himself in position to do that. Now we're really going to see with a solid quarterback, I think, which is a bridge quarterback in
Rusticulous.
Russell. And then
Mr. Unlimited.
Jackson
or Jameis.
Dart. Jackson
or
Dart.
Jameis Winston. Don't forget he's there too.
We're going to also see is whether or not Jackson Dart is going to be the mistake that once again was made for New York by not doing the right thing when they knew it was probably. So that's the part I'm interested in watching in the next 3 to 4 years is how these scales play out between guys like Jackson Dart, like Taylor Shaw, like where are they going to be? Because we've seen where guys like, over the past couple of years where quarterbacks that, even like Kenny Pickett and guys like that just la-di-dee-doo, 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 you know what I'm saying? So I'm looking to see where these scales go. I actually think Jackson Dart has potential. I actually do. I really think he's got something there. But here's the thing. Let me ask you this question.
Hit me.
Who would have been more ready for the New York? Because listen, New York can do something to you. Do something to your mental, to your psyche. If you ain't, who would have been more ready for the New York, just everything New York that comes with that? Jackson Dart or Shedeur Sanders?
I think, let me phrase it this way. I think that Sanders' ceiling would be higher in that sort of New York space, but I also think his floor could be lower. So if you give me 4 outcomes, Shedeur good, Jackson bad, Shedeur bad, that's how I would rank them. With the media training, with the popular dad, famous dad, NFL training, all that, I think there's an argument to be made Shedeur could really handle it. Maybe there's something to be said, though, for Jackson Dart not being in there, not trying to get carried away, not trying to, fall back and, this is what my dad did. You know who my dad is. Not having that kind of personality to get dragged into the New York spotlight from time to time. And then if he fails, it's just another, they took him when they shouldn't have. They traded up for some reason to get him. Whereas if Shedeur would have failed in New York, and who knows, maybe he gets traded there. But if Shadeur's failed in New York, if he got traded out of New York because he couldn't hack it, imagine the storylines. It's going to be completely different.
And it would have been different. Yeah, well said. I like good answer.
That's kind of where I'm at with that. A couple more receivers to get to here, Strick. If I asked you for next year, would you rather have Mike Evans or Nico Collins?
I think, listen, salute to Mike. Mike Evans is like doggy years in football. like for real. Let's be real. He's been pretty consistent. He's a version of LeBron, and I'm not saying as far as
longevity,
but yes.
Consistency.
longevity, consistency, and then you look up and he's not a burner.
No.
But he's a freaking just get it done.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's my guy? The cable guy. Get her done.
Larry the cable guy.
He just get her done. That's so I salute Mike Evans. I mean, so now Nico, to me, he's like going to Six Flags and going on the Texas Giant or something. You don't know, you up, down, will show up in a big playoff game, then may disappear in another. That's the part I don't know about him yet.
And I think the people that voted on this poll feel the same way as you. According to ESPN, he appeared on less than half of the ballots, but he was in the top 5 for half the votes that he got. You either really love him or you're not quite sold and you have to see more from him. I think he's still a potential theoretical guy who's flashed for about a year and a half. I'm curious to see more. Maybe he takes Mike Evans' spot next year. We'll see. Number 10, Garrett Wilson. Okay, fine. You can talk me into that one. He seems like he's good. But then, Strick, we get to the honorable mentions, the guys that got left out. Let's go to break. We'll talk some honorable mentions. We'll talk some NBA news, kind of a hodgepodge segment to end out hour 1. And then Nebraska men's basketball conversations ahead in hour 2, plus Nebraska baseball with Evan Bland. He's Strick. I'm Austin. Wrapping up hour 1 of On the Block next.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Make bill paying a breeze with Text to Pay. LES texts you 1 week before your bill's due date. Just reply to the text to pay. It's that easy. Log into your account at les.com to sign up today.
MHC isn't new, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered. Specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can also handle your commercial moves as well. There's never fees on trucks, stairs, elevators, long carry, and last-minute booking, and no trip or fuel charges. Also no upcharge on weekends, and they do offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more. Schwizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schwizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schwizo.com. That's schwisow.com.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
We're wrapping up hour one of On the Block with some national professional talk before we get into some Husker conversations in hour two of the show. Appreciate everyone chiming in on our text line. Westy, Ben, Eric, Cubsker, Riley, Augie, Old Dad 34, all chiming in so far today. Thanks to Sartor Hamann Jewelers for their sponsorship of our text line. Strick, some honorable mentions that didn't make ESPN's top 10 wide receivers list for 2025. Terry McLaurin, Puka Nacua, Brian Thomas Jr., and your boy, DK Metcalf. Other two include T. Higgins and a guy that I thought would have had more respect across the league, kind of in that Mike Evans spot. Diminished from his peak maybe a little bit, but also hasn't had the best quarterback situation in the last few years. That's Devontae Adams. If I'm going to get on the table for one of these guys, I think Devontae Adams probably deserves that spot. He's with the Rams now. Again, clearly not what he was at his peak, but man, I think if Mike Evans is in there, Devontae Adams can't be that far out of the conversation.
Yeah, I think that person for me is DK Metcalf. I think he's a nightmare as far as a matchup problem. I'm interested to see how he's going to do out there in Pittsburgh and what that's going to look like. I think the rivalries that are going to exist out there, I think he's going to be a good fit for that style of for that team and for that community. So I'm interested to see if he's still able to have a bounce back in him. I put him in that, at least that 10th spot. That's my thought.
Other guys receiving votes. Let me know if there's any of these guys you want to mention here briefly, Strick. Devontae Smith, Lad McConkey, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jamison Williams, DJ Moore, Chris Godwin, George Pickens, Calvin Ridley, Jalen Waddle, Cortland Sutton.
They're all pretty much where I think they should be right now.
Outside looking in?
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, let's get to some NBA news then really briefly, Strick. Bradley Beal set to accept his buyout with the Phoenix Suns. Plans to sign a 2-year, $11 million deal with the Los Angeles Clippers. That in and of itself, okay, whatever. We'll see what Brad Beal, can actually do for them. But think about this, Strick. What the Clippers will have done after they sign Bradley Beal is they will get Bradley Beal, John Collins, Brooke Lopez, Derek Jones Jr., another year of Nick Batum, and Chris Dunn for the price of Paul George. That's some darn good business by the Clips.
That's some darn good business. And it's a veteran-laden team.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got size, you've got length, you've got athleticism, you've got versatility.
Mm-hmm.
It's not premium quality. It's not caviar.
Right.
But it's good steak.
Mm-hmm.
It's good prime rib.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And if Kawhi's healthy, there's the gravy on
got
top.
Something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the way I look at it. But I think they've done a good job of they let the prop. So that was another question I had, and I know we got to go. But here's the thing. I looked at that situation, and it goes to show you that you think these guys communicate more, and these voice genesis are. I think they have a grouping or a clicking amongst them, their ownership groups. I don't know if it's a West Coast thing, an East Coast thing. Maybe you got a couple on each side. I don't know. But it seems that way to me because a lot of people could see the writing on the wall except them in Philly.
Yeah.
If you looked at the numbers, you looked at what he's done. 1 year, he's only played out of the last, I think, 6. As far as games, he's got to 70, if I remember correctly. Oof. And super injury prone, and the Clippers knew it, but they didn't tell nobody.
Mm-hmm.
They let them go out there and sign that man to a max deal.
Paul George, since he signed with the Clippers, since he was traded to the Clippers in 2019-20, 48, 54, 31, 56, 74 2 years ago, and then 41 last year.
There it is. Crazy work. But the Clippers knew it. That's why they was like, Chris Brown. What did he say? He said, I'm chunking up the deuces. Yeah. He said, go ahead and get that Mac. I mean, shoo. Now you stuck with, do you know how stuck you are in Philly?
Stuck. Unless you trade Embiid, you ain't doing that.
No.
You made your bed.
Injury, you made your bed with Embiid, and you took on a dying breed. Ooh. You bars.
Bars.
You made your bed with Embiid, and you took on a dying breed. Bars. Streaky freestyle.
Yeah, it's Streaky. Throw you in the Tory Lanez convo.
That part. Yeah, man. You're in trouble. Philly's in trouble. Unless they have found Shangri-La, the fountain of youth, and the healing cryo booth where you step in and all of a sudden, or you're the Wolverine. You got Wolverine blood laying around somewhere where you
claws.
Otherwise, y'all in trouble.
Who's to blame in Philly?
Does it start with Morey?
He's been gone for a while, but can it still start with him?
Does it start?
Him or Hinkie?
I mean, I think Hinkie carried it on. He was hanky-pankying with, looking at, he had a dream, but he wasn't Martin Luther King. Oh, that's a bar! Boy, Stricky dropping him today. He had a dream, but he wasn't Martin Luther King. No, so for real, he had an idea of what he hoped it would look like being in the East, how he can compete, thinking he had an advantage in Embiid, bringing over who everybody in the ethosphere felt to be playoff Paul or
well, think who
whatever.
They cycled through.
No.
Butler, Harden, George.
Yeah.
Alongside Ben Simmons, the guy they thought they drafted, right? Markelle Fultz. Not long after they got Joel Embiid. I don't blame Philly for the theory. None of it has worked out in practice because I think they've overlooked too many flaws. Plain and simple. I think they've looked too much on the best case scenario and not really playing for contingencies. If there's an injury, if it doesn't mesh, what do we do? Philly's left itself with one plan, and that's not good process. I wouldn't be trusting it.
Right. That's a fact.
Let's keep the hoops conversation rolling here. We'll talk Nebraska men's basketball. Heard from a couple couple transfers, Pryce Sandfort and Kendall Blue. Nice chance to catch up with them, their first time in front of the media here in Lincoln. We'll get to some of what they said and some thoughts on Nebraska men's basketball under Fred Hoiberg before a Nebraska-oriented conversation with Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. All that and more straight ahead.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Hopefully, you and I agree that you should do everything you can to save your marriage. Divorce is hard, expensive, and its outcome is usually not all you hope for. However, when doing everything has failed, when divorce remains as your last option, consider Cordell & Cordell as your first choice to help you through the divorce process to a better place on the other side. We've been a partner men can count on for more than 30 years. Let us be that partner for you.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 402-858-3220. That's 402-858-3220. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln. 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska 68508.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: showers and storms possible throughout the day. Otherwise, we'll see mainly cloudy skies with a high around 85. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms, all that low around 60. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers, otherwise mainly cloudy and cool with a high near 78. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fleck for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer, Jay Foreman. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Welcome back in hour 2 of On the Block, brought to you by The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Monty, special ingredient butcher shop with 3 Lincoln locations and 1 up in Omaha. You can also visit them online. Their website is themercadobutcher.com. Or again, 3 locations in Lincoln, including 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and 85th and Old Cheney. Here in Lincoln, as well as 168th and Maple up in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. Austin Orman, Eric Strickland with you. We'd love for you to be a part of the show. 402-464-5685. Hit us up on our starter, Heyman Jewelers text line. Stricky, heard from a couple wings today in the media availability for Nebraska men's basketball as they're going through some team work, plenty of individual work during the offseason here as well. Those guys would be Pryce Sandfort and Kendall Blue. I want to focus on Kendall Blue first, I think, because that I think is one of the more intriguing additions to Nebraska's roster, being thought of as the Bryce Williams replacement. And I think especially in terms of how he's going to be used at Nebraska. When we heard from Fred Hoiberg earlier in the summer, he mentioned that 4 guys were getting reps at the point guard position for Nebraska. Kendall Blue was one of them. DeMarcus Lawrence in his return from Rhode Island, Sam Hoiberg, and Cale Jacobson. Those are the 4 guys handling the ball. Well, I asked Kendall Blue today, how much have you been on the ball versus off the ball? What percentage of your reps, have been, with you handling the ball in the point guard role or off the ball? And Kendall Blue says the bulk of his reps, the vast majority, have come on the ball, with him as the primary ball handler for his team in the 4-on-4, the 5-on-5 settings, and that he'll move off ball if he needs a bit of a break, he needs to give someone else some reps, whatever it is. And I thought that was really interesting. And I think it lends even a little bit more credence to this year's team, the 25-26 team, being built in a lot of ways in the mold of that 23-24 team, where DeMarcus Lawrence got the first crack at playing point guard, didn't go the way he wanted it to, that Fred Hoiberg wanted it to. So eventually they shifted DeMarcus Lawrence to the bench and off the ball.
Bryce.
And then Bryce Williams started handling the ball. I'm not necessarily shocked to hear that. It seems like that's the way things have been trending for Fred Hoiberg and the way he wants to run his offense over the last few years. I still don't know if that's best for Nebraska, but I can't say I'm surprised by it.
Well, I'm going to take it even further back. It seems as if the times that they've had some of their most success has been point forward action, which started with Derek Walker. More of a downhill attack, physical, get into you, take advantage of speed, quickness. Didn't really have the jumper. Found the gym, which I don't even think they expected Rink to go to the level that he did with. I think they felt that they had a good versatile stretch type big man with good footwork, but just didn't know how that was going to translate. I don't believe they, in their minds, that they really believed that the translation was going to be top level.
Or maybe at least not that quick, not to that borderline all conference level.
So you look, so there was a progression there. That's success. You also know, and you can trace back to Greasel, not really a shooting, post up, mismatch,
inside out,
very much so in that realm. Pretty successful, injuries hindered.
Yeah.
So I think they're looking at where they can have success in the Big Ten with the makeup, not necessarily style, but the makeup of the team. So roster construction was an important thing. Building, finding pieces. They thought they had something like that last year, but some guys didn't really pan out.
Right.
Maybe didn't shoot as good as they'd hoped. Maybe you felt like Goggles, the other Goggles, was, guys like that were going to be able to come in and do a little bit more. It just didn't work out to that level. So I think they feel they've got something, and I like that they're honing on defense with their length, and because if you can create turnovers, rebound with that length and size, push, opportunities will exist for you. I think where they messed up last year, Austin, is not taking advantage of push probe opportunities, like something you hear me talk about upstairs a lot. Like there's opportunities there. Where I thought they struggled was set offense. They didn't have enough of a breakdown type of guy to consist, and they weren't setting screens at the time, which was a major issue. So those are some of the problems I thought I saw with them that hopefully they've addressed this year.
Did you have more issues with Nebraska's guards or bigs when it came to screening last year?
I think it was a combination of both. Lack of setup and maybe going too quickly, and then guys not willing to put bodies. I really do believe, well, one of the things I can trace back to even my time in professional, all of that, one of the things I always knew that the better screen you set, the more opportunity that you are going to be open. Why do I say that? Because if I set a solid screen that gives my guy enough time to create space, there's got to be another guy that steps up and helps. So they're at a disadvantage.
Or
so
if they don't step up and help, boom, open shot for me.
So, right. So you're going to always have a two merge until the other guy can recover, which either, if there's not a rotation, that leaves space for me on a kick with a rotating guy for drive, shot fakes, get to mid-range. I got a whole large swath of options I can do with that type of. So the better my screen is, the more space that's created, which leaves more room for me to be able to operate. So it seems as if that method and model has gone out the window in some instances. But some bigs do a good job with it, and defenses are doing pretty good jobs of trying to help him recover and stuff like that. But we'll see.
I think as we go through the big guys, I bring up the screening too, because Kendall Blue was asked about operating in the pick and roll. He said, yeah, it's a lot easier to get over screens now because Nebraska's guys, no offense to my guys at St. Thomas, are a lot bigger here in Lincoln. It's one thing to be big. It's another to set good screens. I think Rink Mass did a pretty good job when he was healthy of doing that. There's a reason that he was open so much. Plus, gravity from Keisei Tominaga. A lot of guys having to go over a lot of screens, and trail Keisei, I think, made life easier for him. I think Rink will be fine. I think Ugi Drushevicius needs to be a good screen setter if he wants the ball. Jared Garcia, whatever minutes he plays. And then Strick, that's a very simple way for Berke Boyuktengel to reach his potential in the roles I think Nebraska is going to need him to play. I don't think Berke at the 5 is going to be something we see a lot for Nebraska this year. I think they had to use it at times last year with Rink out. I think Berke is going to be primarily a power forward. But if Berke gets back to fundamentals or gets to fundamentals, sets good screens, can actually play out of the short roll, Nebraska can do some really fun stuff with a 4-5 European pick and roll between Berke and Rink, right? Kind of like what Michigan did last year a little bit with Danny Wolf and with Vlad Golden out there on the perimeter. I don't know if I see Berke being bought in enough to do that. But then we know Nebraska likes those little ghost screens where you tap the guy's hip and run by. But another guy, maybe two guys that I think need to be good screen setters to help this offense, Connor Essegian, who says he's bulked up to 200 pounds, which every couple pounds he can add to get a body and be more physical helps him. And then Pryce Sandfort, the other guy that talked today. I think Pryce Sandfort is too good of a player to just stick in a corner and say, stay there, have fun. But I also think this is his first chance in college at Nebraska of getting some of those on ball involved in a lot of screen types of reps. So if those two guys want open shots, I think for perimeter guys, they have to be Nebraska's two best guard or wing screeners.
Well, again, I think a lot of people are going to be looking at how they're going to cover and defend Nebraska. Your goals is to run them off. Trust and believe that they don't have breakdown offensive guys. So to me, as you said, short rolls with Berke, stretch with Rink, Ugi with roll, lob threat, and some stretch, or short roll for him too. I think he has short roll ability. And with your other guys, how much have they improved their handle?
Yeah.
Because say what you will, that was also the threat with Keisei. Keisei can rip, pull, he can step back, he can hit the long range shot. but he could also get to the mid-range. So
in the in-between
how he
games, the
turns,
floater even a
right?
little
With
bit.
so the way he turns, there's got to be a quick read, and your handles are going to be needed in that situation. Whether you push it out and away, observe, keep a guy on your hip, rise up with them behind you to hit or to drop. So your IQ has got to go to another level with handle, because like you can get there, you can turn corner. Your first read is what happens with the big. Does he come up, pause, or does he drop back in kind of a sag or a help? If that's the case, then your read has to determine what's happening with this guy. So maybe I cross step just to hold him a little bit longer. You still don't move. Okay, your guy's on my hip. If the big creates enough space, I've got him or I've got a raise. If he's on my right hip, I don't want to take that shot because it's going to have to be flat with a big center who can go get it. So I might show it to him, maybe try to get him to bite, drop it off. And then now we work right. You see what I'm saying? So there's reads and there's things you got to be able to do, or I'm going to push it out and away, create a little bit more distance, see what that weak side guy is going to do with the big, keep him still on my hip. Now I might got a 1-2 to wing to corner. So there's just different reads that I'm hoping their IQ goes to another level.
And I think as we circle this back around to Kendall Blue for a second, I think he's going to be a little more natural at that than Bryce Williams was. I think Nebraska had to turn Bryce Williams into that because of what they wanted to do. Whereas, Sam Griesel came up playing point guard and hit a growth spurt. He kind of knew what to do with the ball in his hands. He was a natural pass first kind of guy who had the YMCA booty ball game. Kendall Blue said he handled the ball a lot. Am I wrong? That's what he had.
You're right. Just caught me off guard. The booty ball YMCA.
That's what he played. And it worked for him for the most part. But Kendall Blue mentioned today that he ran some point in high school, had the ball in his hands a lot in prep school in Minnesota. And even though he wasn't the point guard for St. Thomas last year, he had the ball in his hands a lot. Was making decisions, averaged, I think, 3 or 4 assists per game. And again, Bryce Williams grew. You could see him making strides throughout 23-24 and then into 24-25. But I think Kendall Blue is going to be
more score first.
Definitely more score first, just because of what Nebraska had as well. And that's a perfect segue here, Strick. Both Pryce Sandfort and Kendall Blue echoed what Fred Hoiberg, Connor Seaton, and Jamarcus Lawrence said when they met with the media. Nebraska's got a lot of guys who can fill it up, at least in practice, right? It's theoretical right now. They got to see him do it in games. But the more and more I think about this team, Strick, it feels more like a team that Fred Hoiberg would have constructed and would like to coach. I don't think this is going to be an elite defensive team. Good size across the board. I think they got some athletic limitations. Yeah. They got some guys that are fine athletes, certainly better athletes than I'll ever be. Don't get me wrong, right? But relative to the lead guards that they're going to face, Sam Hoiberg can hang to a point. I like Jamarcus's athleticism if he locks in on defense. Other than that, I think Nebraska's generally average or below athletically. Pure explosion, jumping, leaping, recover ability. Maybe Nebraska can cobble together a team that is passable defensively, but this is where I went back just briefly today and looked at just KenPom ratings for Fred Hoiberg's teams, Strick. All 5 years at Iowa State, his offenses were better than his defenses. He had the number 87 offense with the 89 defense his first year, 24 and 66 his second year, number 8 offense, number 123 defense in 2012-13. That's probably a little bit too big of a drop-off, I think, for Nebraska to go from a mid to low 40s or top 50 unit down to the 100s. That would be pretty calamitous. But then his last 2 years, Strick, when they finish in the top 20 in KenPom ranking, it was the number 9 offense and the number 55 defense and the number 12 offense and the number 59 defense. Nebraska's best offense under Fred Hoiberg was 2 seasons ago, ranked 32nd in KenPom. That was number 43 defense. That was one of only 2 years at Nebraska where the offense is rated better than the defense. Good on Fred Hoiberg. He needed to make the change to lean more into defense. I think Fred went too far into that a little bit. And I'm not saying he's not a good coach or did the wrong thing. He had to save his job. Nebraska needed to get better on defense. But I think this is going to be a very offensive-minded, offensive-oriented team that I think should push for maybe the best overall offense that Fred Hoiberg has had at Nebraska. And they'll probably end up winning more games with their offense than they have in years past. Because I just don't think this defense has the athletes to hang consistently.
Yeah, so that, to me, I think you want to junk it up some too.
Okay.
You look, I love the, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not force, it's you're trying to persuade someone to go. What's that word I'm looking for that we use in basketball? My mind's just not,
influence them.
Influence. Mm-hmm. There it is. Influence, that influence baseline, keep out of the middle.
Shade.
I like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to be able to junk it up, mix it up. Times where so say you're influencing, and then the next thing you know, you're gonna jump it.
Mm-hmm.
Your
backside guy has to be able to read that skip pass to the corner. Go take it.
Yeah. So there's a certain call that, okay, we're influencing to trap, to rotate. We're influencing to fake and retreat.
Mm-hmm.
Because you just want the guy that's dribbling to think that. So you junk it up a little bit. You throw some crazy zones. We had some matchup zones. We had some stuff that could, we were hard nosed man to man. That was our focus. But we also had some junk it up stuff that at times, I think if you're not going to be a great defensive team, you're a long team. As long as you can rebound and you make sure guys are finding, you can throw some junk stuff in there periodically.
And that's what you and I have been saying about Nebraska's defense for the last couple of years, is that, 2 years ago, it was fine, but I think that defense was maybe boosted by some pretty poor shooting from Nebraska opponents. Nebraska didn't block a lot of shots. They just forced a bunch of inefficient shots, and good for them. That's part of the scheme. But we've talked about this, Strick. It's one thing to influence baseline and not allow middle. Great, cool. I'm on board with that too. But the point of influencing is, number one, you give your opponent a head start to go that way, saying, I want you to go this way. But you're also giving yourself a head start. You're already opened up so that once you influence, you recover and get back in front.
Yes.
When Nebraska's been bad, gotten shredded defensively, it's because they influence and allow the guy to keep going.
And they stay too long, or they stay too long.
Exactly, right? You're supposed to be able to, in man-to-man defense, do your scheme, influence, but then get back in front.
Facts.
When the offense has a numbers advantage, when you as a defense require 2 to guard 1, offense has exactly what it's looking for. It's split-second advantage that guards and ball-handling wings in the Big Ten are good enough to take advantage of.
They were
quickly.
setting you up for it.
Yeah.
Like they weren't. There were times we were watching that when they would go to the influence, they weren't going because they were on the attack. They were going because they were trying.
Because they knew your principles better than you did.
That's why I'm saying you got to be able to junk it up.
And that's the other thing we've been saying. Get more unpredictable. Yeah. Adam Howard was supposed to bring this matchup zone from South Alabama that helped him to like a top 35 defensive rating for a couple years. I don't know if we saw it for more than a handful of possessions with a defensively limited team. And maybe we didn't see it because they couldn't grasp it. Maybe it was above their heads. But I doubt that. But how many times, Strick, did we see a lead guard get a matchup on Nebraska and a head coach say, we're going to pick at this matchup for the next 8 minutes until Nebraska switches its matchup or changes its principles? We didn't see Nebraska trap. We didn't see Nebraska pick up 75 feet, 3/4 court. We didn't see a 1-2-2, 3/4 court, anything like that. Nebraska just sat there and said, we're stuck in our ways. We're stuck in our principles. And for a team that, number one, was supposed to have its calling card on defense last year, and it was a number 41 defense, according to Kent Palm, above average, pretty good, but kind of struggled in those big moments in the regular season. Man, having a changeup to throw once or twice a game, because this is a ball handler, the more you have to think about something, the more you don't know what's coming, there's that split second that can save you everything.
That's a fact. Yeah. I mean, that's basically it. And we're basically saying the same thing because that's, I think that's what you got to do. I think that's what you got to do, especially if you don't have a bunch of strickies out there.
No.
If you don't have a bunch of strickies out there, a bunch of dogs that are going to get after you. And again, I think you got to lean into the offense with some junk.
Mm-hmm.
because Asian, he can't hold water on the defensive side.
Mm-hmm.
Pryce Sandfort, shaky.
We'll see. TBD.
Shaky.
Coming from Iowa, so
You know what I mean? They don't
Yeah.
play no D, and they're super offensive minded.
Mhm. Okay. Pause right there real quick. That's why even if we can laugh at Iowa's NCAA tournament results, to his credit, Fran McCaffrey went down swinging the only way he knew how. Never leaned into defense, and maybe it would have behooved him to focus a little more on that end. I credit Fred Hoiberg for his adaptability, but I wonder if during his time in Nebraska, he's been coaching the way he's comfortable. In a team like this that's offense first is maybe a little bit more in Fred Hoiberg's vein, and we see a more comfortable, more consistent product from Fred Hoiberg. Sorry, continue.
No, that's it, man. I think we hit it on the hammer on the nail.
Last thing here, then, Bada Bing says, love the basketball conversations, fellas. Thank you, Bada Bing. You were in the right spot for that. He says, how are former Huskers doing in the Summer League? We will update you on that in the next couple days. Also, Strick, how was your Summer League experience?
So it was actually pretty good, man. I went to two. My first one was with New Jersey. It was me, Kerry Kittles. It was pretty solid. Didn't really get much of a look there. And then I got invited to Indiana, and this is actually where Fred and I were together.
Mm.
Fred was injured though.
Gotcha.
So it was me, Travis Best. He was their guy. So I again, this is why the experience of Summer League is not necessarily for who you're with. You're interviewing for all the teams.
All 29 other teams
right?
again.
You're interviewing. So going out there, played pretty well. There was a little frustration in it with, the coach at the time, because they wanted me to be traditional point guard. I'm just traditional player.
Mm-hmm.
And then got called for the Dallas Mavericks to go to veteran camp. So out of my first experience with Indiana, end up in veteran camp.
Mm.
And there was another guy named Brandon Williams. He ended up being an executive for the 76ers for a period. And he was on that team with me too. Now, then the second year is I'm looking for a contract. So that was where I told them I'm going to come for 3 games. And the strategy was to go to Denver to make them think that I might be open to going somewhere else.
Yeah.
I gave them 3 games and I averaged like 26 points a game. So I was giving great work. Now, it wasn't in Vegas. It was in Long Beach at the time, in the Pyramid. Yeah, that's where our summer leagues was. And yeah, Kobe and I, we had a brushing up in that second summer league game. It was a really good competitive game. I gave him work. He gave me work. It was good work.
Good work.
Yeah.
What we like to hear. Been good work talking basketball here during this segment. Still plenty more to come on Husker Hoops. We will update you on Huskers and those with Nebraska ties in the Summer League here in the next couple of days. We're talking some MLB drafts, some Husker baseball headlines, and maybe getting you set for Big Ten Media Days with Evan Bland of the World Herald next during On the Block.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
We strive to help people get into home ownership. That is the American dream. Having something that you can go home at night and say, this is mine, is very important. The great thing about Remington Homes is affordability.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, talking about their exciting new division, Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier.
The exciting thing about a Remington home is you get to choose your floor plan from predetermined floor plans. We give you a lot of choices, and you couple that with our great lot selection in all different areas. People do not want to be married to their house payment. They want to get a nice house with nice finishes in a great area for an affordable price. And that's what Remington Homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
This July, Acres is celebrating the birth of our nation. The fireworks include the opportunity to save big with great pricing on our late model John Deere ag equipment. Plus, you can lock in interest rates as low as 1.9% on select used John Deere planters, tractors, sprayers, and combines. Red hot rates combined with our explosive discounts make July the perfect time to buy and save. Don't wait. These deals won't last long. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer July 31st, 2025. Some approved financing. Offer may change anytime without notice.
Noticing more dust at home? It may be time for duct cleaning from Bryant. Breathe easy and healthy. Call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Hey, Husker Nation. This is Todd Euler, 2-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
We're back here on the block. Austin Norman, Eric Strickland with you, but we are headed to our Allo Fiber VIP line where we are joined by Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. It's the baseball offseason as we look toward football, but still plenty to get to with Nebraska baseball. And Evan, I do have to warn you, this might be our last Nebraska baseball conversation for some time since I know we're headed to football season. But hey, there's been the MLB draft, so I'm going to rope you into a Husker baseball conversation one more time until the next time, if that's good with you.
Hey, let's do it. It's still mid-July here. Why not?
Oh, I agree. I mean, it's still baseball season for me. I know I got a bunch of football heads around me here at the radio station, and I get it. I love it, but it's still baseball season as far as I'm concerned. So MLB draft, couple Huskers selected in the top 20 rounds. Mason McConaughey in the 4th, Luke Broderick in the 14th. How do you view the selections of McConaughey and Broderick by the Rangers and the Rockies?
Well, I thought with McConaughey specifically, I mean, it was really, it was probably a little higher than I would have expected him to go. I mean, if he had turned in another All-America kind of season the way that it was trending for him a year ago, he might have gone a little bit higher, but I think this was absolutely a pick from the Rangers where they saw a lot of potential and saw a guy who is going to be back throwing on the mound sometime next spring, maybe March or April or whatever it might be, but somebody who has the stuff to be a long-term starter potentially as a professional and has a chance in the system. So, I kind of wondered how much of a discount teams might view him at, given that he underwent Tommy John surgery in March, but I think it was quite the opposite. I mean, the Rangers saw some potential, and he hasn't officially said that he's going to sign, but almost everybody who's taken in that range does. So you'd expect that to be the case here pretty soon. And then with Broderick, I mean, he was somebody who had been hoping to go in the 5th through the 10th round, which is, again, where more of the money is in terms of the signing bonus. Instead, he goes to the 14th, but the Rockies liked him enough to still offer a little bit more, which isn't necessarily a given by any means in that particular range. And so he is going to sign with the Rockies or has signed with the Rockies and is moving on there. And great for him. A Mount Michael kid in Elkhorn who was a walk-on at Iowa Western and then became Nebraska's closer this year. 13 saves, was really impressive. And I think from a Nebraska perspective, they weren't planning on McConaughey to start the next season anyway. He would have sort of, had to transition back into that role, and Broderick obviously would have been the closer. So now Nebraska needs to find somebody that they trust at the back end of that bullpen, and that rotation conversation then without McConaughey takes on a little bit of a different turn as well.
Let's start in the rotation. Right now it's Ty Horn and maybe Carson Yassa, who's pitching pretty well in summer ball. What's kind of the outlook for the rotation now with McConaughey likely off to the Texas system?
Yeah, Ty Horn would be your clear favorite for the Friday role. Carson Yassa, like you mentioned, has been really good in the Cape. I think 3 or 4 good starts in a row. Really, the ability hasn't been the question with him. It's always been the command. And he's still walking some guys out there, but the results have been really good. And so he's been somebody that Nebraska's been working with for a couple of years. If he can put it all together, that's a frontline sort of arm for them as well. I think, it wasn't just McConaughey that they lost when you have that starter conversation. J.D. Hennon was a Division II transfer who ends up signing with Baltimore. He wasn't drafted, but he signs. And then Cash Cooper signs with Detroit. That was another guy, a junior college arm that they thought could be in the mix in the rotation too. So you remove those 2 guys and McConaughey, and I think by necessity, then a lot of it turns to some of the younger guys. Tucker Timmerman, I think they're going to have to take a long look and see, do they like him as a weekend workhorse type or more in that long relief role that he filled pretty well for the team a year ago? And then some of the younger freshmen who got their feet wet last year, Gavin Blackowitz, Colin Novacek, Bryce Bender were all guys who had their chances. That's somebody, that's another group of players who I think you're going to be looking at them to log some innings this summer, come into fall ball, show how they've improved, and then you kind of go from there. So I think that's where you start. Maybe some of the other newcomers in terms of freshmen or junior college players will try to insert themselves into that mix, but there's no doubt the conversation changed quite a bit because of what just happened in the draft.
You put an interesting note in your article there about Kuiper and Hennon, right? The first pledged recruits Nebraska has lost to the MLB draft since 2017. When you think about it, it's been, almost a decade since that's happened to Nebraska. Is that a credit to Nebraska that they know how to go after guys that are likely to get to campus? Or is that a knock on Nebraska baseball recruiting that they go after some guys that maybe are a little further off the MLB draft radar that they don't have to worry about it as much?
Well, your top programs are sweating the draft every year. LSU just won the national title, and they lose guys annually. Arkansas loses guys annually. So the fact that it's been since 2017 that Nebraska's lost a guy, you don't want it to be that long. Quite honestly, you want to be worrying about some of your guys as fringe talents. I think in the case of Hennon, they knew that he was a risk to go. He made that pretty clear to the program up front that if he had a chance to go pro, he would do that. He pretty much put in a full career at Augustana and was trying to elevate his stock anyway. And then Cooper was a guy who had a pretty good freshman JUCO year, and he committed to Nebraska after that. And he had an even better spring this year. And so that's what I think got him on the radar of pro scouts. And so that was an instance where I think Nebraska did see something in him that then he was able to unlock and parlay that into a draft pick. So, it's something I think Nebraska wants to make more of a habit of. They want to be sweating the draft a little bit. Now, you don't want to lose all your guys and to kind of be stuck scrambling late. So you have to have backup plans and develop guys and have some depth. But if Nebraska wants to take that next step to be a national contender, to be a player, to be one of those rare northern teams that can hang into the NCAA tournament, then you need talent that's being looked at by pro scouts. So I look at it as a positive. It didn't necessarily work out great for them in this draft, but I think it's a positive turn about how they identify guys and the types of players that they're recruiting.
You bring that up, Evan, and I want to kind of loop you in on a conversation that Nick Sainert and I have been having both on air and off air for about a week or so now. And that's Nebraska baseball in terms of the talent identification, right? We've talked a lot on this program and others about the up and down nature of the team under Will Bolt. Why do you think that is when you look at the personnel? Do you see Nebraska finding a cohesive identity in recruiting the guys that you think Will Bolt is maybe most comfortable coaching in terms of physical attributes, skills, and mindset? Or do you think that Nebraska is still trying to find that identity and find a plan for what its type of player at different positions looks like?
Yeah, I think in terms of like the intangible stuff, the makeup, the character of a guy, I think that's been something that they've been pretty steady on for a long time. That's something, I mean, it reflects Will Bolt in his own career. He was a guy on a loaded team who wasn't a professional player, but he was, gritty, if you want to use that term, and just a gamer, somebody who took it really seriously. So I think those kind of guys are ones that they brought in terms of like their physical attributes and things. I think that's changed quite a bit. I talked to Will here earlier this month, and they're pivoting more on offense to more of a power attack. And I think that's in part because of what they've seen from pitching, and they've played a top 40 schedule this year and some really tough pitchers, and their previous approach of, hey, let's string together a bunch of hits and work some walks and steal bases like that works to an extent, but it's a lot harder to do that against guys that are throwing mid-90s and have movement on all their pitches. And so I think they've recognized you have to generate some more offense with one swing of the bat instead of maybe three or four things having to go in their favor. So I think that's oscillated under Will Bolt, and I think the pitching aspect has maybe changed a little bit too. I mean, you think about they made a change at pitching coach a few years ago, bringing in Rob Childress, and so there was a little bit of a different philosophy there too. Command has always been very important. They don't want to issue walks. That's something Nebraska's been pretty good at, and I think right now they're trying to upgrade that swing and miss ability. Hey, it's great if you are avoiding walks, but you also want to avoid bats if at all possible. Your top teams that are making it to Omaha every year are doing both. It's that walk to strikeout ratio that they're trying to find. So I think that's all kind of evolved as the staff has evolved, as college baseball has evolved. But in terms of the character piece, I do think that's been something where they've been pretty steady.
That's another piece of the conversation that Nick and I were having on the pitching side of things. I don't think Rob Childress has been bad for Nebraska by any means, but I think when you told people that Rob Childress was coming back, maybe there was some of that, savior narrative. Oh, he's a pitching guru, knows exactly Nebraska's going to be a top 30 staff every year. And to his credit, Brett Sears, that's a Big Ten pitcher of the year. Mason McConaughey, under his tutelage, like we just mentioned, got drafted in the 4th round. Luke Broderick got drafted as well. And they've had some other arms, but through 2 years, Evan, I can't say that the Rob Childress pitching era has been a resounding success. I mean, yeah, they had Luke Broderick, but sometimes the bullpen's been a little shaky. Still, maybe a lack of development among guys in the midweek. How would you view the Rob Childress second tenure at Nebraska as pitching coach?
Yeah, I think this past season was a step back from what it was 2 years ago. I mean, 2 years ago, they're in terms of command and avoiding walks and striking guys out, like it was pretty good. Like that, they had numbers that were solid, certainly solid NCAA tournament numbers, and that would play. This year, it did take a step back, and some of that was related to the McConaughey injury. Some of that was guys that just, maybe individually took steps back or working through some injuries. I think it was a number of things. The schedule certainly played into that, or maybe that, made some of those numbers look a little different. But, I look at kind of the staff now as it's going to turn over into next year. Like it was the guys that they inherited are really not there anymore. I mean, Will Walsh is moving on. He was there for a long time. Jackson Brockett was there for a long time. Ty Horn was a national recruit who I don't think would have come to Nebraska if Rob Childress wasn't here. He's been pretty clear about that at different points. So, I mean, the way that the arms are coming together this year, I think these are, they're Childress guys. And he worked with a lot of guys that he inherited. Drew Christo is another good example of somebody who was here really when he got here. And I think he brought him along. But but it'll just be interesting to see. And again, some of these guys that they lost with Cooper and Hennon, these were guys that, Rob Childress targeted as well. So I guess I kind of look at that group of freshmen, like I mentioned, Blackowitz and Novacek and Bender and some others as like, okay, they look pretty good. They got a taste last year. Now, how do they take that next step forward? And I think if that development piece that Childress is known for in his career takes hold, then you'll see some of those guys really take off.
I do have to ask this as well, because I think part of the conversation around pitching is not just the coach, but also the tools available to them in terms of the resources, whether it's, a Rapsodo or something like that. What does Nebraska's, quote unquote, pitching lab, to use the in vogue term, look like? How much technology does Rob Childress and his rotation and staff have at their disposal?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say kind of what everybody has in college baseball. My sense is it's average to above average, just in terms of like having the tools that everybody else has. I mean, Rapsodo you mentioned, and like they're able to work on pitch shaping. That's kind of a big thing. Is, hey, can you develop multiple pitches that look the same coming out of your hand that maybe take a late break one way or the other when they're halfway to home plate or whatever it might be. Their facilities, I think, are adequate. It's an ongoing conversation. It's like the player development piece at Nebraska. The coaches would like to see that improve. I think you look around the country, like when Nebraska went to really the last three regionals they went to, when they went to Arkansas in 21, Oklahoma State last year, North Carolina this year, like you get an up close look at the level of facilities and resources that some of these schools put into their programs to be able to host regionals and to be national powers. And it's just the fact that Nebraska's not there. Now their facilities aren't bad, but they're not, sparkling cutting edge type stuff the way that you are seeing at some of these warmer weather schools. So I think they're making good use of what they have. You are still seeing good development stories. But I do think that's something that the program is kind of working through with the athletic department about what does this look like? What could this look like in 5 to 10 years as they're trying to take that next step and maybe become more of a national player.
One last thing for you then, Evan. 3 Husker players at Big Ten Media Days for football. You and I will both be in Vegas. Looking forward to crossing paths with you out there. Dylan Raiola, Henry Lutovsky, and Deshaun Singleton. What are you expecting to hear from those 3 Huskers at the podium on Tuesday?
Yeah, it's a good crew. I think Raiola is going to draw a crowd. There's no doubt about that. People are going to ask him about Patrick Mahomes and growing up around the NFL and throwing a football through a basketball hoop and all kinds of these different things. But I think the other guys will be pretty interesting too. I mean, Lutovsky is somebody who's going to kind of say what he feels, a little bit of that straightforward talk that always plays well at these kind of events. And I think Singleton will be a great spokesperson for the program too, someone who would have been out of eligibility if not for that NCAA ruling last winter in favor of former junior college players. So I think he's somebody who's been pretty insightful when he's spoken. You talk about what that defense could look like with Nebraska this year. Singleton's one of the interesting pieces of that, where it sounds like he'll probably play some safety where he was last year, but maybe moving around a little bit more as well. And it'll just be interesting to see how he's able to improve his stock. So I think all 3 guys, they love Nebraska. They've been around the program for a number of years and they're pretty well spoken. So I think they'll have fun and, probably represent Nebraska pretty well.
It's Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald, our guest with us here during On the Block. Evan, as always, appreciate your time. Great talking to you. And we'll see you in Vegas in just about a week.
Sounds good. Thanks, Austin.
Evan joined us on our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber. Aloe Fiber is where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We'll bring Stricky back in, wrap up On the Block, get you set up for Old School next.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Are kids better off in an intact family? You bet they are. This is Joe Cordell of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. Kids living in a household with married parents do better in school, they're emotionally healthier, and they're more likely to stay out of trouble with the law. If you're in a troubled marriage, of course you should do everything you can to save your marriage, if only for your kids' sake. This includes considering alternatives to divorce. Of course, in some circumstances, divorce is unavoidable. In either case, if you're a man facing a crisis in your marriage, let us help you at Cordell & Cordell. Remember, we're the partner men can count on.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Contact the domestic litigation firm of Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln, Cordell & Cordell, 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska, 68508.
Noticing more dust at home? It may be time for duct cleaning from Bryant. Breathe easy and healthy. Call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
This July, Acres is celebrating the birth of our nation. The fireworks include the opportunity to save big with great pricing on our late model John Deere ag equipment. Plus, you can lock in interest rates as low as 1.9% on select used John Deere planters, tractors, sprayers, and combines. Red hot rates combined with our explosive discounts make July the perfect time to buy and save. Don't wait. These deals won't last long. Visit acres.com for all the details. That's AKRS.com. Restrictions apply. Offer July 31st, 2025. Substitute financing. Offer may change anytime without notice.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, 2-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
We're wrapping up On the Block, Austin and Strick with it for one final segment. It'll be me and DP for Old School coming up for the next hour or so. And we should have Lighthouse in here at 6 o'clock. Stricky, I don't think Paul Skeens' teammates like him.
Man, he was blowing gas at the All-Star game.
That man had a 6-0 lead, and his team let it up. He can't win a game with the Pirates with a sub-250 ERA. He can't win the All-Star game with a 6-0 lead.
It's crazy.
Paul Skeens is not a leader. His teammates don't like him.
They don't like
Trade him.
Get moving. Okay, so here's the thing. Where would you envision Skeensy going? Yankees or Dodgers?
Houston, on the low, need some starting pitching. They've made moves like that before. Texans play in the NFL.
Rangers.
Once the DeGrom contract comes off the books, maybe I could see that.
Royals.
Heck yeah.
No way.
Trying to think.
Boo. Who?
I mean, the Cubs would be in the market. Red Sox potentially.
Braves.
Maybe. Maybe
No
Braves,
Red Sox.
No, I think the Red Sox. I mentioned them.
They might be in there.
Toronto likes to take runs at these guys. They don't often get them, but I could see Toronto on the sneak.
It needs to happen. He needs to get out
Dare
of
I say
Pittsburgh.
the Giants?
Ooh.
Logan Webb and Blake Snell get off the payroll, whatever.
He needs to get to get out of
Padres
there.
like to make moves
They
like that.
do like to do it, but they don't like to pay.
But they like to make moves like that. Their GM, AJ Preller, will make moves like that and then
Yeah.
probably just miss out on re-signing him.
Yeah.
Did you like the home run swing off?
I did not.
You didn't?
I mean, I
Okay.
didn't really get to dig into it, but it a
Three
lot of
players
people-
got 3 swings each from the AL in the NL.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it.
You didn't like it?
No, I
Or
didn't
you
mind
didn't mind it?
I prefer real baseball. I would have rather they played it out a little bit. But that's why I wish there was a re-entry rule for the All-Star game. If a player gets subbed out, you can put him back in if the game goes to extra innings or whatever. Now, shout out the AL Central for coming through. Byron Buxton doubles. Bobby Witt Jr. doubles him in. Moves to third base. Stephen Kwan from the AL Central singles him in to tie the game. But you think about the guys that were available for that home run swing off. The AL didn't use Aaron Judge because he was in street clothes. He wasn't around anymore. Tarek Skubal came out for the end, and he's all dressed up like he's ready to, 1, 2, 3 Cancun. And I get it. You pitch your inning, you're out of there. But man, the NL was stacked at the end there, Stricky, with Stowers and then Schwarber and Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
AL couldn't match that. And Aaron Boone, I think, mismanaged it. But the conversation has been, does MLB need to go to the home run swing off to decide tie games in the regular season?
So they don't go for like 8 hours.
Which is why they made the ghost runner on second.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. Interesting. It's going to be fun.
I don't hate it though.
I don't like, I think,
I don't hate
we've
it.
always
I
talked
don't.
about things that the MLB needs to do to spice it up.
Mhm.
All-Star games or even in
And see, I think
just
the
figure out
All-Star
ways
game
to
is the
spice it
best.
up. I think it's good.
I think it's good. I like the
Yeah.
All-Star game.
Yeah, it's fine.
Home run derby. They did the old derby format for the swing off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unlimited swings. You get 3 swings, number of swings. You can take pitches or whatever instead of a timer. And people loved it.
Yeah.
Just
That's
find
good.
something, roll with it.
That's
So,
good. Find something good. Stay with it.
Roll with it. So
Yeah.
AL has now lost for just the second time since I think 2012 in the All-Star game, and it came at the hands of Kyle Schwarber. Good for him. He wins NL or All-Star game MVP despite not getting a hit in the actual game itself. 3 for 3 on homers in quote unquote extra innings and gets MVP for that. We're going to call that a show right here for Strick. I'm Austin. Don't go anywhere. We got Old School with me and DP. That'll carry you through until 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. It's already 5 o'clock. It'll take you up to 6. Old School on the other side.